there, my name is Andre. Welcome to this latest Border0 demo. And in this demo, we're going to take a look at SQL databases and how to query them. I know, right? That can get pretty complicated pretty quickly, especially if SQL isn't your main gig. Getting database data out of databases is like speaking a different language. This SQL language is a little bit opaque. And so we want to make that easier for you. Basically, what if you could just simply ask questions to your database in plain English and get an instant, accurate answer? So that's exactly what we built here at Border0 with our new AI SQL Assistant. And so with this database tool, you can just easily ask your database any questions in English and have it generate the right SQL query commands for you. So you just have an SQL expert right with you when you need it. So no more relying on your teammates. So to demo this, I've invited Shelby. Shelby, welcome.
Hello.
All
Thank
right. So,
you.
so Shelby works in sales here. And Shelby, is it safe to say that you are not an SQL expert?
That is a fair assessment. Yes, I am not
Yeah.
an SQL expert.
You have done less than, a few database queries that people have helped you with, but
I've
you're
seen a
definitely not.
database.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right. So in this demo, we're going to work with Shelby, and she's going to query a database. So Shelby, I've invited you to access my database. So maybe you can
Mhm.
share your screen.
Okay.
And so as Shelby's sharing her screen, what she's doing is pulling up the web-based database client for agentless access to databases using Border0. So we'll just log in using her SSO identity and then have access to this database. That
All
looks
right.
great. So what we're seeing here is essentially a web-based database client, and I see a few tables in here. And this is an example database. So this would be our customer database. So it has a bunch of customers in it. So if we click on that, we can explore that. So a whole bunch of customers. We have some login activity where all of the login is logged. We have sales transactions. So yeah, we're making money, and we can see how much is in here. And we have some support tickets. Like every now and then, support tickets come in, right? So even though this is not a very extensive example, I think it's pretty representative of what a typical customer database could look like. And normally, when Shelby wants to know things, she either would rely on a tool that we have to build, or she would have to figure out how to query that data directly herself. So I think now's a great time to introduce our new AI expert here, so the AI assistant. And yeah, just click on it and we can start asking it questions. So
All right.
Shelby, why don't we ask it what users signed up over the last 3 days? And so what will happen here as Shelby executes this? So the first thing that will happen is we see that this tool will make an inventory of all the tables. It will then parse the question, combine that with all the tables, and generate the query. And yeah, this looks like a pretty good query. Let's see what happens when we
Ready?
run it. And so we should now see signups only for the last 3 days. And yeah, that looks pretty accurate, right?
Pretty
It's
cool.
June 9 today. So yeah, that looks great. All right. Well, maybe another question could be, I want to know all of the, paying customers in Germany. So show me all pro plan customers in Germany. Let's see if we have any German users. Again, you can see how it's creating this query. I see something like from customers where plan equals pro and country equals Germany. Well, that sounds great. So let's run that query. So you can see how it generates the query. We can review it. And then here we can now see all the customers in Germany. Great. Another good query might be for Shelby is get a sense of the activity in our plan here. So what customers logged in this week? So let's see. Oh, this is interesting, Shelby. So we can actually see a join here. This is generally where it starts to get more complicated. Simple queries. Okay, with join is where we start to glue together multiple tables. And I can see indeed something for the last week. Yeah, well, let's just run it, see what happens. And we can see we had 11 people logging in this week in this data set. Pretty
Awesome.
cool. So you actually are a database expert,
Ah,
Shelby.
feels great. All
Okay, let's talk about money. Let's show all customers who had transactions in the last month. Okay, so we have a table called sales transactions. Scroll up a little bit. So it generated it. I can
Yeah, I
see
see.
there is actually a subquery in there. Yeah, we'll hit run, and then we actually execute the query. And here we can see all of the customer IDs, their names and email addresses with the transactions. Finally, Shelby, I'm pretty curious how much money we would have made over the last 2 months. So maybe we can just ask it. How much money did we make in the last 2 months?
Will it will it
Let's see.
fix my spelling mistakes?
Yes, it's pretty
Oh, should
forgiving.
have
There you
known that.
go.
All
So I can
right.
see, yeah, sales transactions, interval last 2 months. Yeah, looks great. So let's see what it came up with.
All
And it
right.
just comes up with the number that I asked for. So apparently in this data set, someone made $16,000. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. Do you
All
have
right.
maybe a question you want to ask, Shelby?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm curious about where we should focus our advertising spend. So I guess maybe wanting to know which countries our customers are coming from.
Awesome. Yeah.
So let me say, which countries are our customers from? Show me by country.
That's a
Okay.
good question. Let's see if it picks that up. So, yeah, group by country. So that's always good. So let's see if we run this. And there we go. So
Cool. All
46 in
right.
France, 44 in the US, 40 in Germany, and then a few in Canada. That's awesome. Well,
Very
congratulations. I think Shelby should give you a medal. You are now a SQL expert.
excellent.
How did this feel?
I mean, really cool. I think it's pretty awesome that I was able to, I mean, I've never done that before. I've heard how challenging it can be to write SQL queries, and it feels like, something that I can do on my own instead of having to come to one of you to do it for me. So,
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You are now empowered to query whatever you need to. And I can also say from our end, maybe more on the infrastructure side of things or security side of things, we feel comfortable with Shelby doing this because what happens is she's just logging in with her single sign-on identity. We've put a policy on this so that Shelby can only do read-only queries. So even if the AI agent accidentally would suggest a delete or a drop table or something catastrophic, that will be prevented because it's only read-only access to particular databases. Next up, everything is logged, so we know exactly when Shelby is logging in and querying our database and what queries are actually being done. And then with our other AI feature, we're actually analyzing all of these things as well, and it will basically hint at us like, "Hey, there's this session where some strange things would have happened." So you can see that in our session log, you can see exactly what queries are executed by whom. So that brings us to the end of this demo. Shelby, thank you very much. I recommend everyone to give this a try. You can go to client.border0.com, log in with your single sign-on identity, see all the databases that you have access to, and start using this AI bot to generate your own queries. And you don't need to be an SQL query agent. Oh, by the way, I did not mention this, by the way, Shelby. You queried a MySQL database, but we also support Postgres, CockroachDB, and Microsoft SQL. But I think the cool part for this is you don't even need to know what dialect you're speaking here. So that's
yeah,
super awesome.
very cool. Very cool.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of the demo. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next demo.